hope you've enjoyed the last 3 Groundswell conversations as Gary Gadini walked through 3 aspects of the Easter story. There was one other story I wanted to talk about, and that was Peter denying Jesus. Betrayal has to be one of the most painful experiences humans go through, and the closer the relationship, the more the betrayal hurts. Jesus' closest friend and follower on earth, Peter, betrayed him when Jesus needed him most. How Jesus addressed Peter's betrayal is one of my favorite stories in the Bible. Here's how the story goes. Jesus gets arrested, but a few hours after Peter told Jesus he would rather die than deny him, a crowd of people are accusing Peter of following Jesus into 3 separate groups. He claims he never knew Jesus. When Peter realizes what he's done, he runs off in shame. Can you imagine the feeling? Peter loved Jesus, but when he was being questioned by a crowd, he denied ever knowing Jesus. I'm imagining his inner voice of shame was working overtime. On that day when Jesus needed you most, you acted like you didn't even know him. So Peter heads home and goes out fishing. It's what he knew best. And after a full night of fishing, he catches nothing. You can imagine the self-talk now, right? Not only did you deny Jesus, but you can't even catch a fish. In that moment, Jesus showed up with everything Peter wanted. Peter deeply desired forgiveness and reinstatement by Jesus, and he got that plus some. So as the fishermen return, they see somebody on shore with a fire. As they get closer, the person finds out they hadn't caught any fish, and he tells them to throw the net on the other side, which, come on, the fish are on the other side of the boat, but they did what the shadowy figure said, and sure enough, there were the fish. At this, Peter realized it had to be Jesus, so he jumps in the water and swims to shore. All night, Peter just wanted some fish. And there was Jesus, not just with fish, but with complete forgiveness and a warm fire and fresh warm bread to boot. In our quest to be better, to jump over divides, to put Jesus first, and to live faith first, we're not going to get it right every time. You're going to say something insensitive. You're going to get caught up in your emotions. You're going to be the cause of the divide. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings, their pride, and insult them. Oh, and somebody's going to do the same to you. So sometimes you're going to be Peter and get it wrong and need to be forgiven. And sometimes you're going to be betrayed and need to forgive and reinstate like Jesus did. Jesus didn't just brush off the betrayal. He acknowledged the hurt. But he also knew that Peter wasn't his enemy. He could be trusted to get it right the next time. As we go out and live faith first, remember, today you may need to forgive, or you may need to ask forgiveness. We forgive because we've been forgiven. And the more you remember what you've done, the more obligated you are to give that away. Jesus has everything you've ever wanted, and by faith, we accept and give that away. Today, as we forgive others and receive forgiveness, let's live faith first.